Hello, welcome. It's been a minute, my friends, my dearly beloveds. Things have been interesting of late, and I realize there's a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot to process. And so I decided to hold my tongue, because who cares about my opinion, right? Everyone's out there sharing what they think about current events, and I think everyone's probably had quite enough of it. So instead, we just gotta look at some pictures. Old Denmark here. Back to take a little photographic tour of things that we find interesting and shared similarities all across the land, from realm to realm, or all across the realm from land to land. However you want to cut it up, however you want to slice up that cake. And just look at these water towers. So many of these in Denmark. I will say that this is a very unique trait. Now, you see these from time to time in America, usually with some balmy backstory. Remember the one that we heard about? Let's see, what was it? He witnessed the fire in Chicago, and he watched the library burn, and then he also watched the water tower not burn, and he said to himself, Eureka, why not put the library in the water tower? Which might be the dumbest idea of all time, and also the most annoying library of all time. You can imagine a spiral staircase with bookshelves lining the walls, no place to sit and flip the page. Like, what a cockamamie story. Anyway, hopefully here in Denmark they don't have those dumb ideas. The water towers stand as they are. Stone monoliths with funny little hats on, you know? That's what they look like to me anyway. Like it's just a little guy here going, hello, hip hip, governor. I don't know why he's gotta be British. You certainly won't find that here, because this is the land of the Danes. Very decidedly un-British. And just look at this Grand Hotel National. Just look at it. You know, it's interesting. These trolleys here, they don't seem to follow maybe a track here, you know, looking rather wireless to O'Brien, which would be about what we'd expect in this universe of realm where we had a whirlpool over our eyes for 1,000 years and no one knows the flux going on anywhere. Now here are the trolley lines you can see, but no trolleys in sight. Beautiful building though, with lovely little missing lanterns going yoo-hoo. Why are the weather vanes pointing different directions? What's going on over there? Maybe they don't work so well, eh? Here we are, another beautiful water tower. This one, lovingly graced by local artists and a sad, despondent man staring at what appears to be, I don't know, a giant tadpole with cannons there off in the distance, denoting some sort of fortress, because that's what we're told to believe. You find a cannon, well, you know it's a fortress. Who do they think we are? Sorry about the grainy photographs here. This is a courthouse. One squad car here. You know, not much looking at it, but, you know, odd that this is the same kind of courthouse you'd find in Texas. Neither of them looking very courthousey. Rather industrial, really. I don't know why some of these are so grainy. My apologies for that one. My apologies, Gavna. Oddfellows. Home here, or hall, whatever you call it. That's what they'd like us to believe. And just look at the symbology. Pirates with a... Wow, look at all this. This is the Oddfellows, eh? That's what they represent. Look at that. It's like a who's who of crooked symbology. Very interesting. Especially this skull and bones here. Makes you wonder about the whole pirates thing, you know? And this is the other side of it. Actually, no, this is just a Oddfellows Hall in a different town. A little bit less obvious. 3 rings were given to the Elven Kings. And this here is also, my understanding, an Oddfellows building, although a little lighter on the symbolism. I don't know. What do you guys think? Eh? Think I'm mistaken? Let me know in the comments below. Or don't. Man, some of these are grainy, but look at the amazing architecture here. And some of these incredible buildings. Wow. High resolution photography. I only find the best for you. I only seek out the very best. The oldest ring kiln in the world, we're told. I think we looked at this once before. This one not built by the Shaker people, who we met out there in Massachusetts. Decidedly different. Was it Massachusetts? I'm getting all mixed up. Looking at so many places, and, you know, they all start to run together. You wonder if it's by design. And I think it might be. How sweet. Giving the poor lady directions on a hand map. Something you don't see anymore. Look at these beautiful buildings. Just like America. You know, you get the facade here looking gorgeouser than hail. Down the side, it's just something weird going on. You know, almost like the continuation is broken. Some things never change. I'm told it's very cold here, which makes me wonder why this would be practical. And the answer is, it isn't. You'll be told, I'm sure, in the comments, and there was actually a very, very helpful comment by Danes chiming in the last video, informing me, helpfully, that, you know, oftentimes their basements are unusual. You know, the servants had their own quarters, their own entrance, things like that. Now, it's not uncommon, and I do accept that. I agree, it's not uncommon. That isn't my source of contention. The source of contention lies when you find the same exact structures with the same exact windows in places like California, which was never a slave state, never had servants, and decidedly has different weather than Denmark. So what's the reason there? And yeah, you find that everywhere you go, there's some excuse given for why it is so, and that's the part that boggles the mind. On its face, one story would make sense. But 1,000 stories spread out across 1,000 areas, I'm afraid that just don't add up. This is a prison, or prison. I mean, I don't know why you gotta make a prison so beautiful, looking indistinguishable from, say, a church or something other very grand, but you gotta find reasons for some of these buildings, you know? And it's no different in America, believe it or not. We allegedly built them to be this way. I, of course, have my doubts, you know, as a doubter would do. Another glorious tower with another million bricks involved, and it's just never ending, folks. Never ending. Look at that bad boy. Not beautiful. And even in this day and age, the elevation makes no sense. The storefront on the bottom makes no sense. Just no continuity. It just looks like repurposed stuff, man. Everywhere you go, repurposed stuff. You get the dates on some of these. I'm also told through some of the helpful, I do mean that, helpful comments from in between telling me that I know nothing, which may be true, that most of the buildings were in fact not very ancient due to copious amount of fires, especially in Copenhagen, things like that, that they were actually all built in the 1800s, which I would say is unsurprising. But that's what we're told, because that's what we're told everywhere. And I just don't see it being possible. I really don't. As many masons, I mean brick masons as there are, as many brickyards as there are, the math still doesn't make sense as to how you can make so many so quickly and so widespread with such a small population. And I stand by that. Show me the numbers, folks. Look at this guy. Looks like he's taking a little whiz there in the public square. What a jerk. Even though that's grainy, I do appreciate the humor. At least someone thinks like me. That's what they all should look like. Good golly. Look at this beautiful ceiling. Oh, man, lands. Looking just so gorgeous. The acoustic properties here. Thankfully, there's dueling pianos down at the end. Although I'd say what a waste of space. There's a monument here, off in the gorgeous distance. And this is a hospital. A St. Joseph's Hospital. Although no telling what's going on here. Who the shadowy man is here. Lurking behind the cage like, it's like a friggin' 10 feet tall. What the hell's going on there? Or is this the ground here, you know, and this is the lower elevation? What are you guys doing? I wonder with this pitchfork. Looks a little contrived, buddy. Wheelbarrow's a little empty, and it's gonna take a lot more than just you and your shovel there to do whatever it is that you're doing. Beautiful buildings, always with the water table here, making no sense. Glorified entrance. Bricks galore. What a lovely place. I don't know if we saw this earlier, but we'll see it again. Absolutely stunning. And the size of the people and the statues, just what a thing of beauty. And it looks like a piece of technology. Lighting up the park, perhaps. Or who knows. Or just being a transmitter. It looks almost exactly like a radio tower today, which is just bizarre. Don't you think? Gorgeous old school lighthouse here. Look at the pattern there on those bricks. Man, it's so cool. Like, what craftsmanship. Odd theories aside, it's just gorgeous. This type of architecture is just beautiful. Why on earth would we go away from this? I mean, even just these archways. Why would we go away from this into something crappier? Even if you've determined, okay, bricks are not suitable for our needs anymore, why not make something that looks similar? I mean, it's such a cool look. Look at this guy, he's got eyes already. You saved me from drawing him. He's sort of got a bandit mask on. He's up to no good. If there's ever a shifty water tower, this is one. Little doors down here. Boop, 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 boop. We're gonna block up these two, though. For reasons unknown. Looks like little, stalls, you know, for like a greyhound race or something. I say there, good sir. The hunt is about to begin. Roo-halloo. Good golly wackles. Look at that beautiful bad boy. What an old world banger. Complete with little Viking ship up top as the weather vane and everything. I love that touch. How cool is that? I don't know much about the picture other than it's from 2014 and it is beautiful. Got another water tower here. This one light on the rails. And another beautiful lighthouse. I mean, okay, impressive engineering here, sure. But the classic look here, and the red and white stripe, just the beauty of this thing is just, oh man. How could you choose anything other than this? I choose this. All right, you got it, Denmark and America and world. I choose that. This is another state prison looking much more like a castle. What a waste of a prison. Prisons should be ugly. That's what I think. And usually they are. Well, the ones I've been in are ugly. I don't want to talk about those things. I was framed. Nah, I'm just kidding. I've never been inside of a prison. Maybe a jail. A jail cell, yeah. A couple jail cells. Actually, several jail cells in several countries, okay? Let's just be honest. But no prisons, except, well, to visit someone. And even then, I chickened out. So I really only saw the waiting room. And that was ugly. What a pointless story. I'm sorry I wasted your time. Just look at this monument instead in this weird circular grassy driveway. Feast your eyes on the lighthouse. Ooh. Well, it's hard to say, but I'm imagining the coast is this other way. Michelle Gibson has a wonderful theory that she has postulated on about lighthouses, about them storing light and energy in a way. And it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, especially because the tops of these old buildings are called lanterns, even when there's no light visible. So if you, I'll let her articulate it better than I just did, but I found it to be rather interesting and quite plausible indeed. Now, in America, you'd call this a folly. Some random tower built by some jerk-off who just came here with a weird quirk, and he decided to build a tower in the middle of nowhere. What a goofball. It's a folly. But here, they seem to be just part of the regular landscape. Just the thing we do. We don't really do things unless they make sense. Practical. Frugal times. I don't think there was ever a time when it was just, oh God, everyone here is so opulent and so wealthy, we can just afford to build towers just for the heck of it. Just for the view, darling. Just for the view. Not bloody likely. And those are huge doors, and this is a strange layout. Concrete steps leading up to this. Quite weird, but we're not surprised. We see this everywhere. This is the Supreme Court, and you can tell by these supremely cool statues that are out front. Cut to another water tower, to no one's surprise ever. This is a museum of sorts, and I guess there was no room for this monument, so we had to leave it out there in the grass. I don't know. This is another museum, and the reason why I showcase the museums is just because I like to showcase the same types of buildings everywhere that you go. The museums, the post offices, they all are borrowing from the same kind of blueprint, which I think is very weird, considering that they are halfway across this massive realm. Gorgeous glass hall here. Good golly. I don't know what it's inside, but I hope it's a lovely carousel. Look at this beauty. This picture is from 1904. Wow, what a looker. One wonders what these tall poles are doing here in 1904. What is the need? Raising flags, I suppose, since we're here in the water? I don't know. You might can help me out with that, but beautiful place. And there might be more bricks in Denmark than anywhere else in the entire world. I can't prove that, but it sure seems like that based on this slideshow. Another odd bit of foundation work here. Man, I wish I was in better resolution, because I would have something good to say about it. And here again, with this sort of stuff happening, it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, no matter which way you spin it. I'm not picking on Denmark, you find this stuff everywhere. Except for the water towers. I will say that these water towers are very unique to Denmark in both the scale, the size, and the amount of them. My lands. I don't think I've seen this many towers, well, quite frankly, anywhere. Anywhere at all. This is a city hall in a city whose name I won't disgrace by trying to pronounce. And another one. What interesting features. Just makes you wonder. And still, you get this red and white sort of motif, which signifies to me some sort of industry or energy. We also see that quite literally everywhere. The detailing on that, incredible. You won't find that at Home Depot. I know, I've been there. More times than I care to admit. Well, more times than I care to go. I've not been active on here very often, because I'm just trying to sell this house, or get it ready to sell. And it's a full-time job, yo. I don't know how the hell people do it. Hopefully that's done soon, so I can release this hose of stuff I got and unleash a torrent onto the unsuspecting public and catch up to where I want to be. I'm years behind. The mission statement here, you should see my notebook. Spilling out onto the floor. Water towers galore. Everywhere you look. This one's got the little phoenix/eagle that you see time after time again. For some reason, it's everyone's favorite bird, and each one thinks it's unique to each one. Man, so many water towers, it's absolutely crazy. I wish we had more water towers here, if anything, just because they look cool. This is a woman's museum. That's all I know about it. Beautiful church in Copenhagen. Look at that intricate rose window there. Looks like a magnetron or a special gear. A castle with bridge and boat. So picturesque. This is an interesting thing, this spirally staircase, fire escape. It's rather grandiose and just beautiful. Look at that. My lands. And this here is a mosque, and it's very modern, as you can tell. In fact, I find it to be somewhat of a blight, looking like a cheap knockoff of the mosques of old. Especially when compared to something like this. Good golly. Look at the time and the care and the artistic integrity and just the beauty of this amazing view. From the Marble Bridge. It's absolutely stunning. I don't know how far we have fallen when it comes to things like that. Not that we're not capable. Oh, we sure are. I wonder if this is the actual root word of this. Is this just a Danish word? It does seem that way, huh? That's interesting. I hadn't considered it, but it does seem sort of out of place in the English language. Seems like something that would be borrowed from Denmark. In any case, you know what the word means, and so I don't have to tell you. This is another museum, a history museum, and a beautiful church looking like recently painted white, which is kind of a shame. Beautiful tower. These symbols here you would find on the side of a Pennsylvania barn. Hexes, we're told. Hexes to keep out the X's. Wow. Look at this altar. Unbelievable. Inside of a cathedral here. So much gilded, golden scenes of kind of horror, actually. It's amazing to me, you know, I'm trying to knock anyone's religion at all, but I feel like there's so much focus on the death aspect that I find it odd, since it's such a small part, really, of what I believe to be the more beautiful parts of that book and those words. But who am I? Maybe there's a lot I don't understand. Actually, definitely there's a lot I don't understand. Beautiful square here. This is the palace from the aerial view. Stunning work here. And here's what an artist decided it looked like at one point. I don't even know why that's in there, but quite stunning, even when modernized. Even, man, that's such a huge place. The maintenance and the care must take to maintain such things. And then you have a church like this, which doesn't seem out of place anywhere in the world. This one looked like it's been hobbled together or rebuilt or amended onto multiple times. Definitely showing its years, you know what I'm saying? This one also, man, how do you explain this? This is such a funny building. Like sort of crudely painted, but with the huge blocks interjected with the bricks, this one's been through the ringer. Look like 40 miles of bad road. What's up, dude? Living your best life up there. Hell yeah, as you should. Top of that lighthouse. I'd love to live in a lighthouse for like a year or two and be the keeper. That would be so equal parts terrifying and rewarding and also just awesome. I would totally do that. I volunteer myself. If anyone needs a lighthouse keeper out there, / museum curator, or whatever it is, I'll do it. Even if it means I gotta row a little boat. Interesting place for that little monument here. Beautiful Russian Orthodox church here. The onion domes. Man, just gorgeous. There's no end to it out here, is there? There really is just no end to it. I feel like everywhere you go, small country, tiny population, billions of beautiful buildings. That's what it seems like to me. Wow, what a cool place. Now, see here, this doesn't make sense to me if you talk about like, oh, this castle uses water to defend itself. It's like this moat. It's like a defensive moat. Like, yeah, right. I mean, if you're up on the hill here, you're almost on equal footing with I just feel like that whole moat thing is just, it just ain't right. I feel like most of the time the water just would offer such very little defense. I don't get it. I think it's, the water served a different purpose. I get it in a small scale, sure. Small scale, yeah. You bring up your bridge, you drawbridge at night, whatever, you know, little bandits or whatever can't get in, I guess, unless they just didn't mind getting a little wet. But I just feel like a real true marauding army doesn't give a damn about your 3-foot moat. I mean, really, in many cases, wouldn't they just find the source to the water and dam it up and wait for the thing to dry? I mean, like a long-term siege. I just feel like it doesn't really make that much sense. And I feel like it's just an excuse to explain why there's so many of these industrial-looking buildings that are surrounded by water. Personally, that's just my own view, but I'm a doubter. I doubt most of history. I doubt most of what I see. I doubt everything. I even doubt my own brain, okay? I doubt where my own thoughts come from, so at least I'm consistent. Wow, what a cool light post. And what a dorky thing to say, but that thing is incredible. I'll take more light posts like that, please. I'll take all you got. Also, hats like this. I'll take more hats like that, please. I'll take just one hat like that. And this is that same place we saw earlier from the Marble Bridge, just in the daytime, in a different year. And believe it or not, this is as well. It's just allegedly, let's see, this one is without the centerpiece. So if you can recall earlier we were on the Marble Bridge. This one conspicuously doesn't have the centerpiece. However, it also doesn't have anything resembling a normal sky. So this photo looks actually kind of tampered with. I tend to doubt that. This is the inside here. Look how stunning. Brick flooring and everything. I mean, you just ride your horse right on in there, dude. Click, clop, click, clop. Church here. Beautiful church. At least what we're told is a church now. And you have a classic library with a very interesting ground floor. This is in Copenhagen, the Church of Our Savior. Oh, man. So beautiful. Just look at that thing. Stunning. What a beautiful place. There's a museum here, obviously. You can read right there. And another library. Look at that. How incredible. This guy's like, rock on, bro. With the leaf, or with the fountain perfectly concealing, making it okay so I don't violate YouTube's policies by posting male nude genitalia, even if it is a statue. What happened? Okay, here we go. Now, in this case, the moat looks like it could be a defense mechanism, for sure. But I still can't help but wonder if the water didn't serve a different purpose. I mean, isn't this just the land just going right up there? There's no drawbridge or anything. I don't know. It warrants a deeper look. Now, this is a very interesting style of building that you see very sparingly. And actually, I have a few of these that are, well, what's all the black cars? It's kind of ominous. And in fact, this is a very ominous picture, but this superimposing look, you only find these a few places. I'll admit, though, against the sky, this looks so fake. I don't think it is fake. I just feel like something weird going on there. In any case, this is a interesting, formidable, and quite questionable building. Like, my lord, what is the point? Beautiful, picturesque, and rather dark and gothic, isn't it? So much of Europe has this dark energy to it. It's very odd. And then you get pictures like this. The interior is just, oh, so angelic and just incredible. The acoustics in that building must be just astounding. What I wouldn't give to be in that building, singing to myself. The statue of a warrior priest. So we're told anyway. Warrior priest with a hatchet. Wow. I'd like to know the story behind that guy or gal. They look like they mean business. You know, look at this. Oh, similar railing there that we see everywhere. Would you be surprised if I told you every city hall in California carries the same motif? Wouldn't you wonder why? I know I do. It's kind of the point of all this. It's all about wondering why and how and the when and the where and the who. Look, go over there. What is this thing? Monument? That is a very modern-looking lighthouse, doubling as a cell phone tower. I kind of hate that. I don't want that lighthouse, okay? That's a job I would turn down, okay? Oh, all right, twist my arm. Another mosque here, some sort of government building here, court case, perhaps. Oh, no, another one of those sweet hats, dude. Man, look at this guy in the blue. He's like asking him, like, where'd you get that hat? I'm not leaving till you tell me. Good luck. They're highly trained. So many of these equestrian statues, you know, everywhere. Letting you know, this place, like the others, is all under control. Oh, look at that thing. No, that's not questionable at all. Let me guess. Basement? Yeah? I'd be a betting man. I'd bet my buttock. I'd bet both of them as a basement that they're building. Oh, really? Wouldn't you know? Now, where have I seen these symbols before? I don't know. I can't recall. I suppose I'll come back to it sometime. Wow. How are you going to disgrace a manor like this with just this generic patio furniture? Get the bleep out of here, dude. Yeah, spring for something finer than that. Another museum here of glorious proportions, beautiful symmetry, unbelievable brickwork, questionable mystery. Look at that thing. Absolutely stunning. No end to it, folks. There is no end to it. Here's one, for example. What good the moat gonna do you when you got a bridge that's made out of brick that you can't pull up? Eh? More like an industry to me, some sort of a mill. Look at this vintage photo here from Denmark, back in the yesteryear. Looking a bit overgrown. And here's how she looks today. Still a bit overgrown. Although here, well, yeah, you can see the same kind of fading here, you know, a little bit here. The brick underneath. Even when you tried to hide. Yeah, but you couldn't. We gon' find you. We gon' find you. Wonder what's missing here. Birds' nests? Not bloody likely. How cool is that? Just up on the hill there, just beaming away. Harnessing some sort of energy. That's what it looks like to me. I might just be a simpleton there from out there on the west coast, but hell. Still, I'd like answers. Even though the knowing is that you'll never know. Knowing that you'll never know. And there's a bit of a peace in that, I suppose. But I still can't help but look at it all. I still can't help but just try to, I've already done the legwork. I've got all the pitches. I just want to show everybody everything. Is that so wrong? I want to show everybody everything. So that we can collectively compare. Hey, that's weird. This looks just like it looks out there in New Mexico. Why? Considering we're told such very different histories. Why? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. How many people from Denmark do you think end up in New Mexico? I'm going to guess like not very many. I mean, what am I? I could be wrong. Somebody help me out with that, but it just doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to assume. Here's an interesting mosque here. One of the more beautiful ones that we've seen, although it looks slightly repurposed to my brain. It kind of looks like these towers and domes were added a little bit, but I don't know the history of it. I know that there's a whole lot more mosques now than there used to be in Denmark, so who knows? The landscape is changing, and I personally don't understand why it's being allowed. Not that there's anything wrong with people moving places, but people are what makes lands and nations distinct. We don't want to get rid of Danish people. We don't want to get rid of Italians. We don't want to get rid of French people. We don't want to get rid of Nigerian people. We don't want to get rid of any of our cultures. They are kind of like what defines us in a way, like different tribes, a uniqueness, and what makes the world such a rich, fun palette to travel and meet different people. And I don't know why certain powers that be seem to want to sacrifice that on some sort of weird political altar, probably for some shallow self. But I wish there'd be a little bit more pushback on that before it's too late. Will we ever get it together? Who knows? Who knows, Denmark? We're all in the same boat. We're all fighting the same struggle, just in our own different way. We just get control of the information a little bit and learn how to filter it better, recognize patterns. And really, that's what this is kind of all about. It might be 100, 200 years late, but pattern recognition all the same. When you recognize patterns, when you see things and finally figure out what they are and see them for what they are, even if it takes 200 years, it still better equips you to face things as they come at you in the modern time. And it seems like the playbook, that is the hatchery of the schemes that in my brain seem to be counter-human and want to squash out all the good parts of life as a human and all the richness that we have in our diversity and our creation, our ability to create and our creativity and our imaginations. It seems like whatever wants to crush that, stomp that out, seems like they have a limited number of strategies. And this is maybe just a tiny little blip, a little nothing, but I still believe that it's part of it. Recognizing small patterns here and there and discrepancies, even if they're old, even if they're played out, even if there's nothing we can do about them, that deception now, still I think fortifies us and helps protect us against things that are thrown at us in the modern times. The more information, the better. And the more shared information from the furthest reaches of this land to each other is better. And that's what I dedicate this to. All of it. I don't see a reason why we can't take advantage of the ability that we have to share things from one end to the other and say, hey, weird. We have that here too. Weird. Here we call it this and you call it that, and it seems to be the same thing. Just worthy of note that there's something going on around here. Look at that big swollen onion. It looks like a circus tent that's about to burst. Denmark, you're a beautiful place. I'm sure a lot of this video will be misunderstood, lost in translation, and I'll be told all the ways I'm wrong, and I welcome that. But just know that the intent here is pure. We just looking at pictures and comparing things to what we see everywhere. And to you and your creators and your ancestors be the glory. And to you, whose people, whose artistic and creative endeavors created such wonderful things, if that be the case, then I tip my hat to you, because it seems absolutely lovely. I would love to visit here in person, gawk and marvel, and know that anything that sounds like criticism, really, well, it's no less than what I would also levy at myself and where I am, where I'm from, the things that I see around me here. Nothing is spared. Nothing is sacred in that regard. I mock all freely. I make joke of everything I see, okay? That's just how I do it. Look how beautiful that is. Man, That's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. How cool. What a beautiful scene. Wow. I'm sure when that cold hits, man, it hits. But until then, woo, you've got some real beauty on your hands there, boys. Absolutely incredible. There's St. Jacob's Church here. Look at that thing. It's just so monumentally amazing. There's so many of these four-pronged towers everywhere. We've showcased in the past. But you know, you wonder how many of them had steeples like this that are now removed or long gone. Kind of like ruins in a way. Or you wonder if the steeples were added later in certain cases, for whichever reason. It's really hard to pin down the order of things, especially with the janky history that we're told, at least in the States. I mean, there'll be a different story for every tower. It looks identical. It'll be a different story. On this one, oh, the tower fell through the roof, and on this one, oh, it was hoisted five years ago by six sea captains and a bell ship from around the Horn. You never know what kind of nonsense they're going to give you. I'm sure that your own histories here are equally as wonky. How can they not be? It's all wonky. It's all wonky, man. Everything is weird. Everyone is mentally ill in their own way. How could you not be in a world run by psychopaths? How could any of us avoid the pitfalls that are designed to pitfall us? I don't know, but man, look at the beauty here. Let not the strange history of the black and white checkered floor detract from the beautiful organ and the absolutely stunning artistry involved. Witness how beautiful. Absolutely incredible. What a delight. Denmark, you're a treasure. You are a real treasure. If there's any takeaway from any of this is that you are much more like us than possibly you even know. And I find that to be very comforting. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for allowing me to be a voyeur in your lands, snatching up pictures and filling the dead space with my off-kiltered sort of narration. And thank you for not destroying these wonderful buildings. Oh, except for that one. Hideous. There you go. The Hermitage Palace. We've seen this one before, but come on, look at the difference. The Black Diamond, it's called. Disgusting. How does it even compare? And the answer is it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Anyone that tells you otherwise is a fool, a buffoon. I'll challenge them to you know what? I'll challenge them to a fight with a pool noodle. All right? Yeah, that's right. I said it. Fucking pool noodle, dude. Bring it on. They get mollywopped with the quickness. Unbelievable. That's absolutely stunning. I don't know this to be the case, but it feels like a train station. Even though it shouldn't. I mean, it definitely shouldn't. Those lamps. Just so cool, man. Unbelievable. What a beautiful place. And now we're back where we left off, and I'm going to sign out. I'm sorry for the low information, terrible tour. But I hope, despite me, you had an enjoyable time looking at some of these pictures and taking a visual cruise through a beautiful land. I will see you all very soon.